Hi there, hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson I will teach you how to work out the angle between two vectors. Of course, there's a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, so we need to find the angle between vector u and vector v. So we know that vector u dot vector v is equal to the magnitude of u times by the magnitude of v and cos the angle in between. So u dot v, let me just write it down. So let's work out u dot v first. So u dot v, which is equal to u is 2, 4, and dot v is 5, -3. So to find the product of u dot v, so what we do, we just times the x component together. So 2 times 5 is 10. And then we add the product of the y component. So that is 4 times -3 is -12. So now we just go 10 minus 12 is -2. Now we have the dot product of u and v. So now we just need to work out the magnitude of u and magnitude of v. So the magnitude of u will give me, so u is 2, 4. So that means 2 square is 4 plus 4 square, which give me 16 and square root of that. So therefore, this give me 20. So square root of 20. So now we just need to find the magnitude of v. So magnitude of v, so v is 5, -3. So 5 square is 25. And -3 square is 9, which is find the magnitude, okay? So that would give me 34. So square root of 34. So now I just substitute this value into the formula. So u dot v is -2. And then the magnitude of u is square root of 20. And the magnitude of v is 34. So just times by square root of 34 and cos the angle in between. So therefore, I just divide both sides by square root of 20 and square root of 34. So let me just write this down. So I want to get rid of the square root of 20 and 34 as well. So that you divide it by that. So square root of 20 and times square root of 34. So this one cancel out. So this means that cos of theta will give me -2, and 2 times 34 is 68. So 680 square root. So therefore, theta must be equal to the cos inverse of -2 over 680 square root, of course. So just put this in a calculator. So I just go inverse cos -2 over square root of 680. So there you go. So it's correct to nearest to minutes. So I just press the degree button. So that is 94 degrees and 24 minutes. Second one. So we need to find the value of I. So given vector u is this, and the angle between two vectors is 60 degrees. So to work this out, so first of all, we know that u dot v is equal to the magnitude of u times by the magnitude of v and cos the angle in between. So let me just work out u dot v first. So vector u dot vector v, so that becomes 2, 1 dot -3i. So to work out the dot product for this, so 2 times -3. So 2 times -3 is -6. And then we have 1 times a, so which is a, so plus a. And this is exactly the same as a minus 6. So now let me just work out the magnitude of u and v, okay? So magnitude of u, it will give me, so u is 1, so 2 square is 4. And 1 square is 1, which is add them up. And then just by using Pythagoras theorem, that's all. So that gives me 5. Now to work out the vector v, so let me just write this down. Vector v is equal to, so negative 3 square is 9 plus a square. So a square is a square. We just write this down and square root of this. Now I just substitute these values into the formula. So u dot v is a minus 6. So a minus 6. And magnitude of u is square root of 5. And times by magnitude of v, that means square root of 9 plus a square. And square root of that. And cos of theta. So the angle theta is between two vectors is 60 degrees. So let me just write this down. Now let me just simplify a little bit further. So that will give me a minus 6 is equal to, now we know that square root of a times square root of b, that will give me ab square root. So therefore, square root of 5 times square root of 9 plus a square is exactly the same as 5 times 9 plus a square and square root of this. And cos of 60 degrees is a half. So we times by a half. So now I just want to get rid of the half first. So we just times 2 on both sides. And this is more than one term. So I just close and open bracket. So times 2. So therefore, this half cancel out. So let me just expand the left hand side. So that give me 2a minus 12 is equal to 5, 9 plus a square, square root. So let me just get rid of the square root by squaring both sides, okay? So if I square this, and I square this, and this will cancel with the square root. So therefore, so to square the left hand side, so we just go 2a squared, that give me 4a squared. And then minus 2 times 12 is 24, and we double it, okay? So that will give me 48a. And plus 12 squared is 144. Now on the right hand side is 5, 9 plus a square. Now let me just expand the right hand side. So 5 times 9 is 45. And 5 times a square, we plus 5a square. And the left hand side, I just write it down, okay? So 4a square minus 48a plus 144. So now I just make the equations equal to 0. So to do this, I just move this on that side. So that will give me 5a squared minus 4a squared. So that give me a squared. And the negative 48a, move on that side. So that will give me positive. So plus 48a. And then 144, move on the side, becomes negative. So I just use calculator to work it out. So I just go 45 minus 144. So equal to negative 99. So negative 99. So that is equal to 0. So this is exactly the same as a squared plus 48a minus 99 is equal to 0. Now we can either solve this by using quadratic formula or completing the square. So let me just using completing the square. So easier because 48 is an even number, so quite easy to solve by completing the square. So half of 48 is 24. So a plus 24 all square. So now if I expand this, it will give me a squared plus 48a, but with the 24 square extra. So I need to minus it. So I just minus 24 square. So this means that they are the same. Now I just need to write down the minus 99. So minus 99 is equal to 0. Now I just simplify a little bit further. So I just use calculator. So I just go 24 square plus 99. So 675. So a plus 24 square minus 675 is equal to 0. So therefore I move this on that side. So a plus 24 all square is equal to 675. So I'm going to square root both sides. So a plus 24 is equal to square root, but plus or minus square root of 675. So a must be equal to negative 24 plus or minus 675. So we need to solve a correct to 2 decimal places. So therefore, I just put that on a calculator. So I just go negative 24 minus square root of 675. So there you go. So negative 49.98. So therefore, a is equal to negative 49.98. Or a is equal to, so we just go plus. So there you go. So 1.98. So 1.98. So therefore, a is equal to negative 49.98 or a is equal to 1.98. Now, please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How did you go? So let me go through them with you, okay? Before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's get into it. So first one. So we need to find the angle between vector u and vector v. So we need to know that vector u dot vector v is equal to the magnitude of u times by the magnitude of v and cos of the angle in between. So u dot v, let me just work this out first. So u dot v, so that is equal to negative 2i plus 2j dot 2i plus 3j. To find the dot product for this, so we just times the I component together. So that is 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then we add these j component times together. So that is 2 times 3 is 6. So we add 6. So that will give me 2. So now we just need to work out the magnitude of u and the magnitude of v. So the magnitude of u is equal to, so for u, we have negative 2 square is 4 plus 2 square is 4. And square root, of course. So that give me 8. So square root of 8. So now we just need to work out the magnitude of v. So the magnitude of v, let me just write it here. So magnitude of v is equal to, so v is 2 square. And then we add 3 square. So which is 9 anyway. Let me just try this first. So square root. So 2 square is 4. 3 square is 9. We add together, give me 13. So square root of 13. Now we just substitute these into the formula. So u dot v, that is 2 is equal to magnitude of u, that is square root of 8, and times by the magnitude of v, that's square root of 13, and cos of the angle in between. And now I just divide by both sides by square root of 8 and square root of 13. So square root of 8 times square root of 13, and I just get rid of this by divide by both sides. So this cancel with this, let's cancel out. So therefore, cos of theta is equal to 2 over square root of 8 times square root of 13. So theta is equal to cos inverse of 2 over square root of 8 and then times square root of 13. So now I just need to use calculator to work this out. So we just go inverse cos 2 over, so we just go square root of 8 and then times square root of 13. And don't forget to get out and close the brackets. There you go. So 78.69, let me just write this down. 78.69, but then it says correct to nearest degrees. So therefore, that will give me 79 degrees. So it's right, therefore, theta is equal to 79 degrees. So therefore, the angle between vector u and vector v is 79 degrees. Last one. So we know that vector p dot vector q will give me magnitude of p times magnitude of q and cos angle in between. So we just need to work out the q dot p or p dot q first. So vector p dot vector q is equal to, so we have negative 2y and dot negative 1, 1. So which is times the x component together. So that means negative 2 times negative 1 is 2. And then the y component, so y times 1 is y. So we just add them. So there you go. Then we just need to work out the magnitude of p and q. So magnitude of p will give me, so negative 2 square is 4 and y square is y square and square root of that. Now for magnitude of q, so that will give me negative 1 square is 1. 1 square give me 1. So square root of that. So the answer is 2. Now cos of 30 degrees, because the angle in between is 30 degrees. So let me just write this down. Cos of 30 degrees is root 3 over 2. So now I just substitute this value in. So p dot q is 2 plus y. And then the magnitude of p is 4 plus y square, square root, and we times by magnitude of q. So that is square root of 2. And cos of 30 degrees is root 3 over 2. So root 3 over 2. So now let me just get rid of the 2 first, okay? So get rid of fractions. So time by 2 and this time by 2. So that cancel out. So I expand this. So give me 4, expand this, plus 2y. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 6 bracket 4 plus y square and square root of that. So now what I do is I just want to get rid of the surds or the square root on the right hand side by squaring both sides. So if I square this and I square this, so this will cancel with this, okay? The square root. So that will give me 4 square is 16. And then we go 2 times 4, give give me 8, and I double it, so give me 16y. And then 2y squared, so that give me 2 squared is 4y squared. So that will give me the right hand side, because the square root already cancel it out. Give me 6, 4 plus y squared. So now what I do is I just expand the right hand side, okay? So that will give me 6 times 4 is 24. And 6 times y squared is 6y squared. And the left hand side is, I just write this out first, okay? So that will give me 16 plus 16y plus 4y squared. So what I do is, I just make these equations becomes 0. So I move everything on one side. So to do this, so this is 6y squared, so better just move the 4y squared on that side. So that becomes 6y squared minus 4y squared, give me 2y squared. And then the 16y, I move on that side, become minus 16y. And then 16 move on that side, so become 24 minus 16. So 20 minus 16 is 4, add another 4, that give me 8. So plus 8. So that becomes 0. So this is exactly the same as 2y squared minus 16y and plus 8 is equal to 0. So what I do now is I just divide everything by 2, okay? Because the common factor is 2. So I divide everything by 2. So y squared minus 8y plus 4 will give me 0. So now I can either solve this by using quadratic formula or completing the square. So let me just solve this by completing the square. It's quicker, that's all, and easier. So a half of negative 8 give me negative 4. So y minus 4 squared. Now, if I expand this out, it'll give me exactly the same as this with the 4 square extra. So I just minus it out, okay? So we'll balance it. Now I just minus the 4 square out, so which is 16. So that now is the same. So this plus 4, I'll just write this down. So that give me 0. So that will give me negative 12. So I move on that side, becomes positive 12. So that will give me y minus 4 all squared is equal to 12. Because negative 12, move on that side, become positive 12. So what I do now is I square root both sides, okay? So to get rid of the square. So y minus 4 is equal to, because I square root of 12, so plus or minus square root of 12. So therefore, y is equal to 4 plus or minus square root of 12. I don't need to simplify this because the questions is required correct to 2 decimal place. So what I do is I just put that on a calculator, okay? So now I just go 4 minus square root of 12. So there you go. So the answer is 0.54. So let me just move this up. So therefore, y is equal to 0.54 or y is equal to, so I just go change to plus. So there you go. So 7.46. So 7.46. There you go. So y is equal to 0.54 or y is equal to 7.46. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got all of them correct. Bye.